Now, look, I have known Hillary Clinton for a very long time, and I don't know for sure whether she's going to run for president. I'm wearing my knees out praying, but I know this. My Republican friends have two plans for that eventuality. Plan A, try to keep her from running. That's why they're launching all these crazy attacks. Plan B, if that doesn't work out, is the Republicans lose to Hillary and she becomes president. So, Republicans, if you want to avoid Plan B, keep up the attacks, like the one that ABC's Diane Sawyer asked Hillary Clinton about.
Mitch McConnell said at one point, 2016 will be the return of the Golden Girls.
That was a very popular, long-running TV series.
Now, I speak Hillary, Tim, and here is what she means when she says that. That was popular and long-running. She's saying, bring it on. I will point out that Mitch McConnell, who attacked her apparently for her age with that little snide comment, is 6 years older. He's 72 running for a 6-year term. Hillary's 66, hopefully going to run for a 4-year term. This is really counterproductive for your side, isn't it?
Well, about two of the other questions that happened in that interview that shows...
Well, but isn't Mitch McConnell... You could get to your shots. You got a whole book attacking Hillary.
All right.
Isn't it stupid and sexist and for Mitch McConnell, and by the way, again, who's 6 years older than Hillary, to be raising these kind of snide comments?
I certainly think that there are a lot of more credible ways that you can attack Hillary Clinton. And if you just look at the interview that she did with Diane Sawyer, we've only seen 2 clips from them. In one of them, she's talking about how she struggled so much to pay the mortgage when she was getting an $8 million advance, and her husband was selling access to himself in the White House to the highest bidder.
No, not true. They were driven $12 million into debt by Ken Starr and the right-wing attack
machine. They're worth $100 to $200 million now. They haven't invented a widget.
What is this, Russia? We're not allowed to get rich anymore?
That's what I'm telling you. They haven't invented a widget. What have they done? They've sold themselves. They've sold themselves. They've sold access to themselves. Hey, hold on. Here's another.
We're going to talk numbers. 40% of the speeches that Hillary Clinton is giving are for free. It's for charitable causes. She is raising money. She is out there. One-night event with Hillary Clinton. She's going to get paid over $1 million for excellent
She's
causes.
a woman of the people. Tracy, now, we know that you are ready for Hillary.
That is true.
But not everyone in the Democratic Party is. And a recent poll says that 55% of Democrats want other Democrats to run against her. And here's what former governor of Montana, Brian Schweitzer, said about her. He said, "You can't be a candidate that shakes down more money on Wall Street than anybody since, I don't know, Woodrow Wilson, and be a populist." Now, he sounds a lot more like today's Democrats than Hillary does to me. Is he wrong about her?
Well, Governor Schweitzer and his sort of folksiness is an interesting line for him to go to, and this isn't the first time he's said something like this. But what we're talking about when we look biographically at Secretary Clinton, someone who's been working her whole life on issues involving reducing the inequality, and even as Secretary of State, the notion of inequality for her was a guiding principle in why we needed to stabilize in certain countries, that growing inequalities are actually a grave danger for societies. This is something that has guided her as First Lady, as a senator, as the Secretary of State. It's been her principle. So inequality, Hillary Clinton, go back and look at her words to the New America Foundation recently.
I just think this is going to be a tough sell for her. I mean, Hillary Clinton is going to have the closest ties to Wall Street out of any candidate in either party. She was getting paid $200,000 per speech by the biggest Wall Street firms. So the idea that she's going to be able to tap into this Elizabeth Warren populist movement is pretty ridiculous. And it sure doesn't help when she's lamenting her $100 million as having trouble putting food on the table.
If we're so interested in talking about people who've dared to go and earn a living and been successful, it's also worth noting that for her, the charitable events that they're doing are just a part of the story, that both Bill and Hillary Clinton have given upwards of 10% of their entire income to charity, a figure that
Romney. That didn't stop Paul from just ripping him apart.
Mitt Romney bought companies that laid the workers off, took their pensions and health benefits. Those workers didn't much like it, so they made ads for my PAC. Here's the problem with your theory. It ain't working. Let me show you some polls. Okay, you guys have been on this now, banging Hillary for 20 years, and especially the last 2. Well, not you personally, but the right. Here's where she stands according to the ABC News Washington Post poll. 59% approve of the job she has done as Secretary of State. 67% say she's a strong leader. Look at this. 60% say she is honest and trustworthy. So keep it up. If you got her down to 59 after only 20 years, you'll get her down to 0 in like 200 more. So keep attacking Hillary.
We've done a polling analysis of her history. Hillary worst when she's in the middle of a campaign, when there's a partisan fight going on, because she doesn't wear well. She didn't in 2008.
All right, well,
that's why President Obama supported it, and she isn't now. And
better
you see it in that Diane Sawyer interview.
I'm sorry,
Tracy, I was on your website today, and I noticed all the amazing merchandise you guys have for sale. Those are water bottles. There's a dog collar. There is a Hillary Clinton cell phone case. Aren't you afraid all of this stuff will turn off average American voters who are concerned that Hillary is seen more as a brand and less as an actual problem solver who's down in the gritty dirt trying to solve the real problems of American people?
The supply and demand issue is an interesting one with Ready for Hillary. They can't keep the merchandise in stock. There is a clamoring by her supporters growing every day.
Right, but Tracy, the deficit isn't with her,
and so
with her admirers. The deficit is with average Americans who find her repugnant.
The idea of Hillary as a brand is something that is certainly been an exciting one that people right now are seeing.
Tracy.
There's a Ready for Hillary bus that's going to be going around the country that yesterday
that's what I'm
was
talking
getting
about. That
high five.
Inevitability and branding of Hillary did not turn on enough voters in the Democratic primary.
I'm glad that you're giving me the opportunity to say something that I've said many times. If there was an inevitability about Hillary Clinton, Ready for Hillary would not exist. And I don't know how much more plainly to make that case. So every time that word comes up, that is going to be my answer.
Well, in fact, Tim, I think this whole notion in my party of inevitability is dangerous and damaging.
Well, then why does the Priorities USA board have Jim Messina, you, John
Here's the answer.
Everybody.
The answer to it is when you right-wingers attack her, it boosts her. It ends the inevitability. Think, oh, my goodness, this talented woman is being attacked by all these right-wingers. It's great for Hillary.
Okay, well, stay here. We want you at home to weigh in on today's